Today, we're going to be taking a look at something kind of not so new, maybe, I don't know. This is Transformers Age of the Primes Byte, who I found at a Walmart, like, in person. He's not yet shipped on Amazon. I'm pretty sure a lot of the online retailers do have him already. I'm not sure if he's really at, like, Targets and stuff, but I found him at Walmart in Canada, of course. He's just chilling. There was a heat wave. I just didn't want him, honestly. I just was like, he's cool, but realistically, I kind of really want him. As much as I do want to get heat wave at some point, he's a figure I'll get when he's a little cheaper. That's where I'm at with that. But with Byte, I was hearing good things, and I already like Byte because he's a cool thing in general. He's just like a weird cybernetic shark, which is awesome. And he's like meant to look realistic, so it's really nice. But essentially, this is him, and there he is. Looking at him, pretty good. He's pretty much this kind of indigo. I thought he'd be blue, but he's more of an indigo. Because it looks purple at times. It really does. Like, this blue... On camera, it looks a lot more blue than it does in person. In person, it has a bit of an indigo look. On the back, he does have a bit of a backpack. It's not the worst backpack I've ever seen, but he does have a shark on his ass, so there's that. The left arm is his kind of big claw gun thing, which is cool, and you can articulate it to kind of make it just a claw if you want. Me personally, though, I'm kind of a fan of the whole, there it is, big claw, or completely wide open for a crazy cool, like, big shot of some kind. Like, I feel like he'd charge up an energy ball and then go type thing. Does look good, and he does have some fins on the back, and his shoulder pads are actually quite large. I feel like they probably could have folded up somewhere, maybe, like a little bit, but oh well, what are you gonna do? Still looks good, and honestly, we're gonna bring in the Thrilling 30 guy here, because the improvement, oh my god, I love this Thrilling 30 figure to death, but his age really shows next to this guy. Like, dear God, I don't actually know what happened to that. He always just had that scraped off for some reason. This thing, for those who don't know, if we turn them around, first and foremost, the new one has calves. This one doesn't. As a kid, my thing with this, because I got him and Roadbuster at the same time, was Roadbuster absolutely obliterated him in a fight. So he had to be rebuilt, but they used some really shoddy parts for it. That's my whole thing. That was my little headcanon, if you would. But he also actually has an arm. This guy didn't even have an elbow bend. He had a bicep curl. As much as I like this old one, he just looks so bad next to him. But the thing that's weird is I think the new one's, like, taller or equal height, which is extremely weird, by the way. That means he's massive. Because he's in the old Voyager scaling, not the current. He's in the old Voyager scaling. Like, he's a lanky boy, and he looks good for it. And I'm happy that they made him a tall figure, because it looks really nice. But that's that, other than, of course, his articulation, which is also really good. Does have a ball joint in the head. For back outward. The shoulder joint goes that far because of the shoulder pad thingy here. It's a little shoulder spike. It's a little unfortunate. Elbow, swivel, hands rotate. Yes, both hands, including this one, which doesn't look like it would, but it does. They didn't have to do that. Usually when there's a hinge involved, they don't make the hand swivel, but they actually did that time, which is weird. He does have a waist swivel. Pretty good. The legs have absolutely no kibble on them, which, forward, back. Knee joint. You can cheat a double if you unpeg the knee, but it looks a little funny once you go so far with it. And it has an ankle tilt and up and down at the toe. So, pretty much everything you could want articulation-wise, and look-wise, looks great. In fact, the only thing I think I would take from the original figure is the head sculpt, or at least the paint. This guy had silver paint on his head. I wish they had did it for him. They only gave him gray. And that makes me a little upset, honestly. I also kind of like the more cybernetic-y detail, like the kind of panel lines going up on the head there. But I think this looks good nonetheless, man. I think this is a good looking figure. Actually, I'm forgetting something before we go. He has an accessory, a gun, but it's really weird. You store it in the shark head, and it goes over his hand like that. And there you go. That's what it is. It's this little thing. It's so plain. It's so unnecessary. And quite frankly, we're never going to mention it again. It just stores in this shark head here. So there's like these two tabs at the front. There's two slots on it. Just kind of drop it in. Make sure it's lined up. And then boom. Look at that. Perfect. Perfect looking weapon storage for kind of useless weapon. But let's just get into the transformation. I also didn't mention these come off as well to be swords. I'm missing a lot of parts here. Anyway, let's just get into this. So, start out, I usually flip up the little gold fins just because they're pretty much the easiest step of the whole thing. After that, we then come down here and peg the feet together because they form the mouth of the shark mode. After that, come to the back and undo these panels, which will then release the shark head. Once the shark head has been released, you can actually take the legs, bend them forward at the knee, like so, and then fold the feet up, and that's basically what you're going to do with the legs. Like I said, the legs have no kibble on them because they don't do anything, really, for the transformation. They do the bare minimum necessary. Like, they really do. Anyway, the next thing you're going to want to do here is take the backpack and unpeg it. Once you unpeg it, you're then going to want to come up here to these parts here. You're going to want to, like, rotate them in an odd way. There's kind of a bunch of ways to get this done, weirdly enough, with these panels. They're kind of iffy. Like, they got to be out of the way enough so you can bend this upward. But also, the head has to unpeg. There's a lot of stuff that has to move. It's all revolving around those panels. And they are removable. So if you do want to remove them to make your life a little easier, you can. But not recommended. Parts forming and all. Anyway, this section here, you push that down. Rotate the arm around like that. Pull this out. Slider joint. This one also has a slider, but it's a lot looser. So it just automatically fell. Take the hand. Fold it up. Take the gun arm, put it there, make sure the tail's all straightened out and everything, and make sure that these are together in a good way, because sometimes if they're uneven, it'll throw off the back end of the shark. Once that's done, the front here will peg into the legs, and then once that pegs in, you then have this section, which rotates down. And then there's kind of an important step, which is there's a slot on both sides right there, and then a tab there. They go in to each other, of course. But if you don't do it, the shell back here will not sit right, like, at all. So you have to make sure they are in the right positioning, because if they're not, it's not going to work. The next thing is slide those side panels there with the gunmetal in, and then fold the shark head down, like so. And here we have Skybite in his alternate form. I'm not transforming the other one because it would take too long. This looks great. I like this shark mode. It's 10 times better than the Thrilling 30 one. For those who don't know about the Thrilling 31, I'll see if I can throw an image up. It is a weird looking thing. It's like bent in the middle, like it's jumping. And that's about it. This is completely normal. It's a straightforward shark with some cybernetics going on. It looks really, really good, and apparently it's very accurate back here. But it just looks nice. I mean, underneath there's the chest piece and the legs, and the arms aren't too hidden, I'm not gonna lie. They're not really hidden back there. But because they use the arms for the tail, it did gain the tail motion, so that's really cool. The fins move as well, and another really cool aspect here, the head. So the head actually has this little bit of neck jointage going on, and it's a continuous joint. That is amazing. That is a crazy detail. I kind of wish it might have been painted like black, maybe, or silver, but it's whatever. The mouth opens, of course. The teeth are actually painted silver, I believe, so that's cool. And there's these two slots, which are actually for the thing in his mouth, which I can't get out now because it's up there. But it just pegs missiles into his mouth if you really care. Honestly, I don't really think many people would. It's something. Of course, the head becomes the main fin at the top, which looks cool. The Thrilling 31 does that as well. I'm pretty sure the original also does that as well. That's like his trait. But this thing just looks good. The gunmetal, the silver throughout. It looks awesome. I love this shark mode. There's not much to hate about this shark mode. I think the shark mode's wonderful. It's a wonderful looking thing. It just is. Nothing to complain about here, honestly. I don't think there's much to. It's just a much needed improvement on the Thrilling 30 Skybyte in every way necessary. But that is him. Let's get to the final thoughts here. And as far as final thoughts go for Skybyte, what do I think? I think this guy is, honestly, I'd say he's a must-get. He's definitely a must-get. He is a really, really, really good figure. There is a couple smaller nitpicks with him, but for the most part, the figure is solidly sound. Like, there's not any real fundamental issues going on with this guy that I'm like, oh, this guy sucks, you know? There's something massive wrong with him. No, this guy is, like I said, you might be able to get a couple nitpicks here and there. Like, these fins fall off way too easy. Like, they will pop off at any given point if you hit it wrong. That's one thing. That's a kind of a nitpick, I guess I would say. That could vary from figure to figure, of course. But, I mean, looking at him, I think he's just a good figure overall. He's probably my favorite so far that I own from Age of the Primes. I don't own many. I will preface that. I do own only the Aerial Bots, Prima, and Solus. So Solus is definitely the worst by a mile. But as of right now, I'm saying that he is definitely my favorite out of this new lineup here of figures, because he just does everything well. He transforms well. It's a fun transformation. The alt mode is really good. Like, it's a really killer alt form. There's not really anything to complain about with the alt form. One thing I will say, though, is just the absolutely amazing time that this is. It's just a great figure. He looks good. Maybe one little complaint would be I wish there was a little bit more paint going on in some places. Like, maybe like a bit of silver on this arm wouldn't hurt. Or down here on the foot where there's like some obvious battle damage they didn't paint it. But those are nitpicks, man. This is a great, great figure. I don't think anyone's really going to be mad if you get him. Like, if you ever find him on a sale, it's a definite steal, because he's a get no matter what, in my opinion. I just don't have any issues here. I think he's a good figure, and I think that's basically it for Skybyte. And that's him. Great figure. Recommend him wholeheartedly. But that has been my review of the Transformers Age of the Primes Voyager class Skybyte. This has been Elite signing out.